Carolyn wasn't home, so I was reading the paper and somebody knocked at the door. I went to the door, and there stood God. I don't know what God looks like, but I see God in his people that claim him as their Lord and Savior and how they react in their lives. The gentleman was Pastor David Coulter. He was with the Methodist Church. And since we were living in Mormon country, all the non-Mormons knew each other real well. And Dave asked if he could come in and see me. Sure. He says, have you ever heard of Millard Fuller? And this is 1981. Habitat started in '76. I said, no, I've never heard of it. Have you ever heard of Habitat for Humanity? Haven't heard of it. He says, well, I have a problem. I have invited Millard Fuller to speak to us, come and meet with us. Because he's going out to Portland, and for an extra $300, he can stop in here. Now, one thing about Pastor Coulter, very nice guy, but he could not organize himself across a crack in the floor. What's interesting is he also was a clown. When he put his clown costume on, he was a totally different person, but a very nice person either way. And he says, my problem is that I've asked this guy to come, and I don't know what to do about getting ready for him. So I'm having a meeting on Saturday, and I'm inviting 8 people from the community. Would you come? I said, yeah, I'll be there. He left me a couple paperbacks. Love and Water Drinks and Bacola, which are the 2 books that Millard Fuller had written. They were small paperbacks, so I got them read by Saturday. Went to the meeting, and the essence, Millard Fuller said you need 2 things to start an affiliate. You need $1 in the bank, and you need to be a fool for Christ. And then he invited us to send 2 people to the International Board meeting in Fort Myers, Florida. At that time, Habitat was small enough internationally that everybody was invited to the board meetings in the spring and the fall. So Dave, another gentleman, and I went to that. And when we came home, I chaired the steering committee that decided by the fall that we ought to affiliate. And since Habitat was quite small, the procedure then is if you were going to join the affiliate, you went to the board meeting and your affiliate was introduced and approved of. So Carolyn and I and Pastor Coulter went to San Antonio for that initial meeting. Now, at that time, we were the only affiliate in the state of Utah. And we had the northern county. And it was quite a large area. But anyway, things went along pretty well. And in 1989, I decided to retire. Moved back here in 1990 in January or February. And we moved into Green Lake area. And the people that I knew, since I grew up in Atwater, the people that I knew about my involvement in Habitat. And they says, well, why don't we start a Habitat here? And I said, well, I'm not ready yet, because although I grew up here, I've been gone for 30 years, maybe 35. And I don't really know the people the same way as I did before. So we put it on hold. Then one week, I got a call from 5 different people. They were all ladies. One of them was Nancy. She worked with Hartman Associates at that time. And they each asked me, what can we do to start a Habitat? I said, well, now that I live in Minnesota, I have learned And what you do is you have coffee and cake, and you decide what you're going to do. So we had coffee, and we decided that we would have a meeting to indicate if there's any interest in the Habitat. We scheduled that meeting for St. Mary's Catholic Church, and 85 people showed up.
Wow.
That was a lot. Anyway, the consensus of the group was we ought to proceed. I appointed the board of directors. That's the way you started with. Somebody's got to appoint them. And we got organized. We had our first board meeting in August. That meeting was in May. We filled out our paperwork, and on May 1st of 1993, we were approved as an affiliate. And on the 2nd of May, we started billing. By that time, we'd already bought a used house because our realtor that was on the board couldn't really find any empty lots and stuff like that where I'd get going there. It turned out to be an older home. It was small, had 2 bedrooms upstairs, very dry basement, which was great. Nice new furnace in it, so we bought it for $11,000. We didn't have any money, but we bought it anyway. And so we're ready to roll. And the house that we bought was the one behind the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it was always known as the Kentucky Fried Chicken House. And we renovated it, and the renovation consisted of stripping all the siding off, which was asbestos material, and carefully putting it in paper bags and marking them so we could bring them to the landfill, and they would put them in a certain spot and record it for posterity that asbestos stuff was there. We brought it out there, and they said, just throw it in the dump. So, and we completely stripped the house on the outside, and we completely stripped it on the inside. And it started from there. And one of the things I found around here is that most of the volunteers come that are the gentlemen, are very, very handy people. They know their way around building and most anything else because they solve a lot of problems. So we started out, but we didn't have any building supervisor. So I approached Ed Parada, who's the instructor of the colleges for the building trades, and asked if he would be our volunteer supervisor. He says, yeah, I'll do that. And he would come over on Saturday and say, here's what I want you to do next week, and here's how I want you to do it. And then come back the next Saturday, and he'd see whether we did that right or wrong. If it was wrong, we corrected it, but generally it was right. Then he'd say, well, here's your next week's work. And we went that way, and while we were building that, we had 3 houses donated to us. They became house number 2, 3, and 4. House number 2 was donated by the Christian Reformed Church. Number 3 was by Judge Smosa, and number 4 was from the Perkins Lumber. The Perkins Lumber House was on their property right next to where the store was, and the people lived in it for many years. An interesting part about that house, it was a Sears Roebuck house. We ordered it from the catalog. They paid $1,500 for it. And everything came in a box. It had maple flooring. It had 6-inch wide oak trim around the house. It had a foyer with a stairway going upstairs. Had rolling doors into the parlor. And a nice bookcase decoration between the parlor and the dining room. And that's where we got started. And it has gone pretty well since then. So, again, you are the people of God. It's just when I look at people like you, that I see God. I think that's true for all of us. And so, my appreciation to all of you for what you've done. I want to especially compliment Jolene and her staff for and the people that help with the new store, with the new building. The renovation is phenomenal. It's very nicely organized, and it's a real asset to Habitat for Humanity. And so keep up the good work, because as Jolene said, we built the largest number of houses in any affiliate. But we have one other unique feature, and that is, I don't know if it's still true, but for many, many years, we were the only habitat in the United States that was in more than one county. Most everybody built in a town or a county, but we were, when we signed up for our affiliation, you had to show what your turf area would be. And we picked Hoosier County, Renville County, Chippewa County, and Swift County. And Polk County, we figured they should really go with Alexandria. And in Sturt County already had an affiliate from St. Cloud. So that's where we got started. And for a number of years, the people in those 4 counties would come in on weekends and work as volunteers. And pretty soon Richfield said, you know, can't we do something over here? So the 5 counties were organized over a period of time as just separate affiliates, separate entities within the affiliate. It's been an interesting program. I think it's been a very positive program. I don't know about you, but through Habitat, I probably know 1,500, 2,000 people in this area now that I never would have known. But when I talk to them, and when I talk to other people, they say, that's our program. And I know very well they haven't spent a minute on it. But that's all you need. You want them to say that's their program. And they will usually find a way to help you out. And I think that's the great thing about Habitat. It has an extremely positive reputation throughout the United States and the world. And we were fortunate enough to know Millard and Linda Fuller as personal friends. And our daughter, when she graduated from college, she decided to go to medical school. And it became necessary for her to sit out a year before she started. So for that year, she volunteered at Habitat International in Americas up until Christmas. And then she went to San Antonio to be an affiliate helper there. And she and another girl lived down in the Barrios where they were building Habitat houses. And that was sort of an experience for her. When she came home at the end of the time, she had the habit of leaving the lights on in the house at night. And I said, you're not in that room, why leave the lights on? She said, probably on where I lived, I wanted the lights on. So she got used to that, and that's what she did. But it's an absolutely great program. It does marvelous things. And all of you ought to be very proud of the fact that you're associated with this program, because you're giving of yourself and you're being godlike when you do that. Thank you.